Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move today in Europe. I'm Tom McKenzie, alongside Stephen Carroll. We are joined by Bloomberg reporter Chloe Melly. Chloe, we start with Shell. Third quarter profit better than expected at a time of weaker oil prices. What's going on?
Yeah, so as you said, weaker energy prices that dragged down earnings a little bit. We saw that with Equinor yesterday. But what was helpful for Shell was that there was a rebound in performance by its oil and gas traders. So last month, Shell had already said that oil and gas trading profits had actually recovered. And that was after Shell and also a lot of its peers had really struggled to navigate the really sharp market swings that we saw over the second quarter that were, of course, driven by a lot of geopolitical uncertainty. Shell also maintained the pace of share buybacks, which is something that investors care a lot about when it comes to those oil majors, and that really reassured the market. It seems that the CEO strategy has been working out quite well for Shell. He's been spending the past couple of years cutting costs and getting rid of underperforming assets to try and close that valuation gap with US rivals. And so far, that seems to be working quite well. Shares are up 16% since the start of 2025 and outperforming its peers. So everything is going quite well for Shell so far. We'll see how BP actually does next week.
Yeah, indeed. Shell shares just down 0.5% this morning in London. The big share move, though, on the London market has been WPP, currently down around 10%, but the shares hit their lowest since 2008 earlier as well. What's driving those shares lower this morning?
Well, it cut its sales guidance, and that is something that it had already done in July. So this is now the second cut this year, and it also announced that it would revamp its entire structure to try and become more efficient. So this is the first set of results under the new CEO, Cindy Rose, who started just last month on September the 1st, and she's now got quite a massive task ahead of her. She needs to make some really big changes to kind of reverse what has been a very weak performance for a while for WPP. It's fallen way behind its big rival Publicis, which actually upgraded guidance this season. So we can see how we've got two very diverging paths there. And it's also seen the loss of some really major accounts for WPP. So now Rose is having to kind of adapt the agency to a new environment where AI tools are really changing the advertising world. And we've also seen a lot of reduced client spending on marketing because of macroeconomic uncertainty. So CEO called the recent performance unacceptable, and she said she'd have to make really big changes and will announce that plan in the new year. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay, so from advertising to the automakers and geopolitics hitting the German giant Volkswagen.
Yeah, so Volkswagen said that it would need a sufficient supply of semiconductors to be able to meet its financial targets for 2025. So that's all related to this whole Nexperia debacle. So it's a really clear signal that the shortage of chips from Nexperia is having a major impact on those European car makers. Volkswagen said that it had secured enough components for the coming week to keep the German production plants running, but that it couldn't rule out disruption to production beyond at that time. So that's obviously a big negative, but actually shares did gain this morning because there was a really strong free cash flow and a really strong margin in the earnings. So some analysts said that really sets the stage for a potential reset in 2026, which echoes what we had from Mercedes yesterday with the shares rising because investors were expecting the worst to kind of be behind. So it seems to be maybe the light at the end of the tunnel for that European car sector.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.